Hello and welcome to a new thing. Something that I haven't really done for my channel before. Replaying a nation I've already played before. Though this will be very different than my other path. I actually began playing this route in single player. And was like, okay, this is actually very interesting. I kinda want to try doing this multiplayer instead, because I think the fan base should see how interesting this campaign really is. Though I haven't played too far to it, I haven't even stabilized the nation after becoming the new one, so I'm definitely semi-blind to how this is. Though I do have a strategy for how I play this nation. For now, let's just throw these guys in the center. You guys chill there. And I have actually, I'm not going to read the some of the lore things because, well, I've already read them, but there are some lore things. Like, one thing I didn't do at all in my first playthrough as this nation is I didn't read any of the generals. This was back before I realized there were even general descriptions, so I legitimately just didn't read them at all. I truly just didn't. So this run, I think I will do that for you. So that's a new. But these things I've already read before? Nah. I don't care about reading those again. Whatever. Here's Skyfall Trade Federation. And yeah, we've got to, for this run, we've got to begin by placating the isolationists. And I'm actually going to just have the game run while I begin looking at these guys. Ocean Breeze has nothing, Skybeak has nothing, you have nothing. General Lucy Duskfeather. Born high above the land atop Mount Ares, Lucy Duskfeather has grown to enjoy and eventually love the great heights of her home. Actually, I'm going to move this over here so I can definitely not miss an event if it pops up. Lucy was originally intended to succeed her mother and take over a local bakery business. Let's see. Just throw this on. Boop. Tensions in the family resulted from this as soon as the young hippogriff reached the age of 14 and made it known that she intended to join the local scouts, which her parents objected to. Okay, one thing that's very important is we do need to go with sea ponies. Yes. That is very important. After a month-long deadlock and emotions flaring both towards sadness and anger, her parents relented and sent her off. To this day, Lucy would go on to say that her time in the Scouts of Mount Ares was perhaps the second most impactful time of her life, with only the Storm King's invasion overtaking it. She found herself quick to reach out to her fellow hippogriffs to make friends and allies, and generally enjoyed the experience of developing new and existing skills, and using them to tackle challenge after challenge. Once again, we want sea ponies. Very important. As she left the Scouts and looked to the future, her parents had come to terms with their daughter's ambitions, and Lucy went on to attend the Royal Equestrian Military Academy at the age of 20. She would go on to become an overall adequate officer, but developed a particular hunch for combat in greater and greater heights, taking great aspiration from her childhood on Mount Ares. To the point that where some of her subordinates wondered why she had joined the army and not the Air Force. We must do Sea Pony Autarky, which actually, I didn't do this direction, so I actually should read those. I didn't think of that. Anyways, for now, A major general by the time, Lucy chafed under the Storm King's reign. Being forced beneath the waves by the Queen, her skills were made useless. The subsequent defeat of the king, however, made her all the more expressive that, if Hippogriphia should ever again come under siege, they should utilize the great peaks and heights of their mountain for safety, not the depths of Equestria. Privately, the newly minted lieutenant general came to blame the left-wingers among society for humiliating plunder of areas, coming to see socialists more as some grifts that failed to make friends in society, and thus resorted to sabotaging. I'm right at the end, and I somehow messed up with reading. And thus resorted to sabotaging a society they thought that had failed them. You're just a major general. You don't even have that. Your portrait by Cam. A harsh and demanding officer, Colonel Razorbeak, has spent most of her career as an instructor of Hippographia's military academies. Attempting to weed out weakness among future officers, her career peaked at Colonial due to her controversial methods and alleged ties to far-right organizations, and she has made many enemies over the years. Still, the High Command frequently calls upon her to lead strike forces when raw oppression and an iron will are needed to carry the day. Yeah, we want to continue with the sea ponies, so, yep, order them to shut down. And now we have complete sea pony control. Equestria is solidifying in permanent seat of government, with many seeing Queen Nova as only representing a sea pony interest. Unrest is brewing among the hippogriffs, and may soon boil over. Now that's all the generals. Throw you on there, and I believe this. Yeah, now we're getting a rising hippogriff. But we can ignore that. That doesn't really matter. Hippogriffia has survived for centuries on its own, and it would be beyond irresponsible to abandon this policy between invaders, slavers, mad foreigners. And countless other threats. We must make sure to rally all the strengths we possess for the benefit of our nation, not others. Let's see. We can't have the sea ponies be less powerful. Gosh. No. So, it's good to stand up for your values. No, we don't want to do those. And I'm actually going to set these guys just to take all of them if they finish, so that I can just have each ship finish quicker when instead of all of them finish slowly. I'd just personally rather that. And no, we don't want to tire any political advisors, anything of that. That's just a waste of political power. No one wants to use that. Nope. Complete waste of political power. Complete waste of political power. We don't want to waste our political power. 100% no. Okay, now one thing I want to calculate is this is 42. So to get 42 political power, getting 0.10 a day. So in 10 days you'll have 1. So you need, 10 times 42 is 420 days. Not going to be worth it, honestly. Most likely. Now what I need to do is we should, the Mariana Trench. The Mariana Trench is the deepest oceanic trench in the world, going so far into the planet that even we do not know how far down it goes. Due to its relatively unexplored nature from such harsh conditions, it has been the target of countless speculation and rumors over the years, from simple odd sounds to sea monsters. Even if such an expedition may be expensive in the short term, sending a team to explore it further may put any sea ponies' minds at ease. Yeah, that makes sense to me. We should do that. Now, we don't want to do any of the other things. I guess now let's go and get some universal education. Just good thing to have all around. What's up? Break up the protesters, correct. We don't care about the Sea Pony total control. We think that is completely fine. And why would you argue with the government? The government's always right, obviously. I mean, when's the government ever wrong, right? Am I right? I'm right. The Mariana Report. A minor incident has arisen lately in the AHAC involving the recent patrolling the Mariana Trench outside of Equestria. While the small detachment sent to the deaths initially reported everything as normal, we soon lost contact with them hours later. Initially, this was not alarming itself, as the deaths have been known to block out communications, but worries began to rise when team did not return upon the scheduled time. It was only a day later, right as the search party was ready to look for them, that they appeared from the trench, looking a little worse for wear, but otherwise unharmed. Upon being questioned for their extended absence, they repeatedly insisted that nothing happened during the time in the trench, and that they simply lost track of the time. A minor report on the incident has been filed, and the guards are being sent for further questioning, but other than that, the AHAC has seen no need to take further action. Officials are putting this down as just another rookie mistake by fresh recruits, and though a few sea ponies are worried at the development, this event will likely be forgotten within a few days at most. Still, perhaps we should hold off on more expeditions for the time being. And I suppose that makes sense. Well, let's just move on with our lives. I'm sure that doesn't mean anything, Just moving on. Everything's good. Everything's great. Everything's good and everything's great and everything's happy all the time. Yeah. Wait, no, I want to do that one first. That's the one I want to do. Every child born in our nation has the right to be given a full education, both on land and in sea, whether rich or poor, and whether sea pony or hippogriff. We cannot leave anyone behind. I don't know about that, One Chief. I don't know. Maybe we will leave, one group behind. It's not a big deal, okay? It's not a big deal. Come on. I just look at her. The Anti-Harmonic Activist Committee has been established with two goals in mind: ensure the continued unity of hippogriffs and sea ponies, prevent foreign ideas. Boop, boop. Boop. And sure. Prevent foreign ideas that could damage the fabric of society from crossing our borders. The more powers given, the more they can do to achieve that goal. However, if given too many powers, the committee might become something more than intended. We also have the underwater societies. More troubling news is coming out of Equestria as of late, this time involving issues of a more serious nature. Multiple officials stationed around the underwater nation have reported the formation of what seems to be secret societies all over Equestria, each being eerily similar to each other. And yet, despite our best efforts, we have been unable to discern their intention, or even what kind of threat they may pose to both sea ponies and hippogriffs. What we do know is that they are rapidly growing in number, and while currently constrained beneath the waves, some on Mount Ares are afraid that it may spread to the mainland. Even more worrying is that the evidence points to the sea ponies sent to Marina Trench as responsible for starting these societies. We have been unable to find them since, only a few short weeks after their return. Fearful whispers speak of a plot growing against hippography itself, but for now they remain constrained to just that, rumors. All we can do for the moment is wait and see what the societies do. Let us hope that the situation does not escalate. Oh boy, I can't believe more is happening. I thought it was going to be completely fine, guys. I totally did. I can't believe this would happen to us. I just can't believe it. I am shocked. I am just completely and utterly shocked. Gosh. How could this have possibly happened? Dun! I don't know, guys. Do you know how this could have happened? Grand Galloping Alla. A new Daring Do book. Exciting stuff going on. Oh, the Constitutional Uprising. How are you guys doing over there? Doesn't look like that great. It doesn't look like you got a lot of land to start. I'm sure it'll go fine. Oh, as our nation grows, so will its industry. But it'll only bloat the nation to try to run everything centrally. There are countless talented and ambitious citizens within our nation, and if we just give them some encouragement, they'll provide us with plenty of new industries. We now have hypocrisy and resentment worrying. Woo! Modern wars are won not just on the battlefield, but in the factories as well. We must be ready to produce immense amounts of weaponry for when the war comes, and there is no time like the present to get started. Breakdown of order. Just as we feared, the situation has escalated in Equestria. Only a few days ago, violence broke out all across the underwater realm, plunging large parts of it into chaos. Small feuds that normally would be resolved with simple words, like running into one another and different tastes in music, have all incited into physical assaults. Sea ponies fighting sea pony until broken up by others. The societies were our initial suspects, but it seems that the phenomenon has affected even them, as some in their ranks were sighted engaging in blows. The rest continued to meet in secluded places, unhindered by the crisis. No matter the cause, the situation is untenable, and something must now be done. A possible solution would be to send in more hippogriff soldiers underwater to enforce peace until the sea ponies regain their wits. What would prove immensely unpopular for some and may take a while, would at least minimize the damage and spread of the violent outbreak. Another option proposed by the cabinet is to seek help from Equestria and the elements of harmony. Foul magic seems to be at play here, and the ponies have aided us before in our time of need. With their help, whatever is the cause of this will surely be caught and order restored quickly, as long as the Equestrians actually agree to help. Of course, we could also always just wait out the chaos and hope the sea ponies regain their sanity on their own. We can deal with this ourselves, which a lot of political power, stability, we don't want to do that. That's so painful. The helmets will be able to solve our problems quickly, but if they refuse, our governments will look like a fool. Well, I don't want to look like the fool. Well, just wait it out. Look, it even gives us 200 political power. That's so worth it, and it increases our stability. That was so good. I'm a genius. The time approaches and we must make our move. As our masters slowly awaken and rise from the abyss, it is critical that we begin securing control of the mainland for their arrival. By expanding our ranks on hippography itself, we can grow strength and ensure that states are ours in the event of a civil war. However, our main objective will be to continue spreading until we have the power to capture and overthrow the government on Mount Ares with minimal bloodshed. We can ensure peaceful gatherings, while we must grow our numbers as fast as possible. Remaining under cover and refrain from excessive violence with officials and locals is essential to our plans going forward. Without a hitch. To ensure that the situation does not fall into civil war, we must tighten the leash on members and avoid unnecessary conflict at all cost. For now. greatly reduces the chances of violent confrontation and the next spreading of the cult. If stability falls below 40% before we capture the capital, a civil war will start. Appease the non-believers. With our recent work, the country is starting to destabilize, and we could have a civil war on our hooves soon. This is not an optimal situation for us, and to end the avoiding it, we are forced to start limited appeasement of our enemies, purposely being captured, allowing ourselves to be watched, and spreading a message of relative peace and support can all go towards reassuring those who do not see we do yet, and allow us to go back to subverting rule over Hippogriffia. Our cultists will purposely act non-threatening to assuage fears and help prevent civil war. That sounds good. Passive subversion. There are more ways to sway Hippogriffia to our cause than just going from province to province, spreading the word in mass. Word of beak, whispers passing from house to house will surely, but slowly, attract converts who see the true path for the nation. Like a spider spins its web, so will our cause reach across the farthest shores of Ares. Yes, let's get some passive subversion as well. And there's our passive subversion going on. And we can begin doing spreadings. But we can lose stability. And if we go below 40, as we saw, civil war. So we should wait till our appeasing of non-believers gets us up in stability first, before we begin just going all willy-nilly. Go and, just give it a bit. Let's wait it out. Give it some time to get us ready. Carthaginian rebels request aid. A letter has arrived from the Constitutionalist Army requesting our support for the uprising. We have chilly relations with Carthage. The Constitutional leadership spent some time hiding out in Zumedia. They are far friendlier towards both Hippogriffia and Harmony than the Zarkid dictatorship. Princess Skystar has commented so far, suggesting we organize a volunteer regiment of Zumidian and Hippogriff soldiers to beat Zarka like we beat the Storm King. More conservative voices caution that Hippogriffs dying in a foreign war would upset the isolationists within our country, and suggest simply sending arms to the Constitutional instead. Still others caution that such an intervention would enrage the Zarkids and bolster their claim that Hippogriffia is an imperialist power attempting to impose our ways of life on others. They say that it's hardly harmless to topple foreign governments we disapprove of, and would have us simply state our endorsement of the Constitutionalists, but refuse to become embroiled in another country's civil war. Let's accept Skystar's support proposal. They'll probably be a little more distracted, I'll just break up the protests. Who cares? We only care about the sea ponies. Woo! Sea ponies rule. The rest of you drool. Get wrecked. Throw that there. And I'll prepare to do one more there. The Committee for National Defense. War will come to our nation borders once again. Whether sooner or later, the ravages of the Storm King prove that we cannot simply hide. But the next time foreign princesses will not come along to save us. We must plan for all scenarios from now on, no matter how dire. Alright, let's grab up you, and you. Okay. Alright, now we need to do some more appeasement. Let's see. Okay. Gonna wait till it's literally impossible, even if I get the violent outbreaks at 6%, for me to go below 40. Minor confrontation in West Shore. Despite some minor conflicts and violence, the spread of our cult to West Shore was a success. While non-members did start minor fights with our own agents, they were relatively localized and contained. Some may still be afraid of our intentions and further action, but for now the state is secure and our numbers grown. Now we continue to ensure peaceful gatherings as much as we can. Never forget our roots. We cannot and must not forget who we are. To ensure this, our children will receive a thorough education, our history and traditions, and all who wish to work towards its preservation and continuation will be given support in their endeavors. Woo! Yay, that's what we're doing this playthrough, right? That's what we're going for. But I think that's going to go ahead and be the end of this episode. And in the next, well, I think you can probably guess what's going to happen. But if you enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell button. And as always, peace.